the private chat in case you have questions or need to tell us something.
Hello, hello, hello. Queen Mother Speaks every Wednesday, every week, live at 5 p.m. Kenya time, but it will be 10 a.m. New York Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for tuning in today to Queen Mother Speaks. I am Ella Dashanaba King, also known as Queen Mother. That's where that name really comes from. We're so happy to have you in today. I want to take this moment right here, right now, to say thank you so much for all the messages you sent us last week when we had a complete blackout. I mean, 5 minutes before the show started, we lost power. It's never happened like that before. So at the beginning and at the end of the day, it was nothing that we could do, but we're so happy to be here with you today. Now, what Nana and I do intend to do is to do a special show for you that's called episode 11. And we'll tell you all about that as soon as we figure out what it's going to be. But that's what's going on. That's what we're going to do. What else I want to say to you right now? We're in season 8. Our theme is, if not you, who? And if not now, when? Now is the time. And that whole theme is really about getting you to take action in your life right now on something that's important to you. Hmm? You don't wait for somebody else. You can just step up to the plate for yourself. Take stock on all the things that you're waiting for. We're 3 months before we enter into another year. So, what are you thinking about that you haven't finished this year? Hmm? The time is now. Thank you for that message. I'm going to ask you, please. Our request for Queen Mother Speak second year anniversary is that you start hitting the like, share, comment button. You got it? Like, share, comment. We want you to start hitting those buttons today. Nana, tell us who is in studio today.
Well, hello and welcome to another episode of QMS. I'm Teresa R. Kemp, Nana Afua Adezawa the First. I'm the Queen Mother of Mankasim Traditional Area. And I am excited to tell you who's in studio today. We have somatic therapist Mary Cordelia in Virginia, in the USA. We should also have a check-in by Ann and Claire, who's going to tell us about Death Awareness Week. And we're going to have a slight conversation about that and things you can do to support the hearing impaired in your community. We also have Beverle Lax from the Democrats Abroad. It's important and imperative that you check your voter registration status, locate your polling places because a lot of things have changed. Places are being redistricted. And if you are a Democratic voter or a Republican voter abroad, we want you to coordinate getting your votes in. Beverly's going to be explaining to you a whole lot more because, as you know, it's so important that you vote. And again, hit that like, share, comment button. And if you're watching us on YouTube, Queen Mother Speaks, then we want you to subscribe. Leave us comments on what you'd like to see on the show. Put your questions in for our guest today. Or if you have something else you'd like to talk about, let us know that too. If this is your first time tuning in, we thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
Men, women, and youth having very unique, innovative projects and transformation and transformative work, plus special shows like today. So just stay right there. Go to our page, tell us who you are, where you're from, and guests you would want on the show. So we want you to click on facebook.com/Queen Mother Speaks if you're watching on Facebook, facebook.com/author Teresa R. Kemp. That's me. And back to you, Queen Mother.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nana. Thank you so much, Nana. Now, we are pleased today for all of our guests who's in the house, who you'll be getting a chance to meet in just a moment. I want to say thank you and blessings to all of our faithful fans. Once again, it was you who called to say to me, Queen Mother, what's going on? How come we can't get the show? And so finally, we posted a message to say why you weren't getting the show, but thank you for that. All of you who have birthdays in September, we wish you a happy birthday. I'd like to give a big shout out to Felda and to Baba, Samantha, Dr. Tete. Baba turned 90, by the way. And I also want to give a happy shout out to my friend Rose Mwara. And later on, Rose, I'm going to call you and use my voice and sing that happy birthday song to you. You've been such a great friend and even more of a sister. I'd like to extend gratitude to the people who were on the show for episode 10, Mr. Caleb Neverson and the Art of Living Institute.
Yes.
We had Deepala on, who was the breath facilitator, and of course, to our roving investigative reporter, Elizabeth Myers with the Talila Report. And she did a fantastic job in talking to us about the 65 Project. What is the 65 Project? Well, that's the story of over 500 lawyers across America who helped the man in the White House um, in relationship to January 6th. So we played that tape here on Queen Mother Speaks. We're playing it on our Facebook. We're playing it on all our channels. And we're going to play it again because you need to know all of the people who were involved with the former president in trying to incite a riot and overthrow the American government. Okay. From the West Coast, USA, thank you for the people who get up so early. They have to get up like 7 a.m. to watch the Queen Mother Speak show. Thank you. And that would be nobody but Lady Red, Adisa, Kwashi from Los Angeles, Tashmia, Nyla, Hakika, and Samantha, all from San Francisco, California. I want to invite you to keep yourself safe. They're saying that COVID is over. That's great. The Queen Mother still wants to invite you to keep yourself safe. Keep washing your hands. Ain't nothing wrong with that. There is a new platform called Bonga Dada Bonga, and you can reach it by going to facebook.com/Bonga Dada Bonga. Check them out. They're on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Kenya time, 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. So what is this thing that we call Queen Mother Speaks? It's a community platform, and we deal with issues that matter. We bring you commentary, okay, and conversations to raise insight, to inform, to make you aware. We want you to also laugh. We bring you a dialogue of witty dialogue with our guests. We also, on Queen Mother Speaks, we bring you meditation. And off and on, we read a verse, and sometimes we actually have technicians, facilitators from the Art of Living Institute to be on the show and take us through breathing. That's the thing that got me through the entire COVID period, the breathing exercises. Okay, so from the Art of Living Institute, we had an online breathing session. That was over a year ago. But what we do now is we incorporate that into the Queen Mother Speaks show. So what we're about to do now is we're going to get ready to go into our breathing exercises. And how we do that, we ask you to breathe in through your nose to the count of 8. Breathe in to the count of 8. You hold it to the count of 8. Then you release it very slowly to the count of 12. We're going to do 2 of those today. Are you ready? Okay, let's start. Breathe in. I opened my mouth, but I'm asking you to release through your nose, okay? Let's do it again. Breathe in. Very well. Thank you for sharing the breath of life with me. Um, in this moment, we're going to go to our reflective reading, and I'm going to repeat the topic, and I'm going to ask you to listen with your heart. Our affirmation for today is I am open to new thoughts. It is so interesting that the affirmation for today fits right in with what we're going to be doing on the show. I am open to new thoughts. I'm open to new thoughts. Rumi said, look past your thoughts so you may drink the pure nectar of this moment. Isn't that lovely? What if life is so much more simple than we've created it to be? What if our main responsibility is to move through life without worrying? We're already worthy. Nothing can change that. God knows what we desire even before we ask. God is all knowing, all powerful, and everywhere evenly present. In truth, all our needs are already met. I died to my old self. I die to my old self, and with every death comes a renewal. You get a rebirth. So I welcome the new way of being and a new way of thinking and a new acceptance of fulfilling experiences. I give God full control over my life and affairs. I appoint God as the executor of my life. I like that statement. Let's say that again. I appoint God as the executor of my estate, executor of my life. I kick back and live in the moment. Thank you, order in me, as me, through me, around me, through the Christ within. Our scripture, and we know that those who love God are helped by him in every way for good. Isn't that lovely? All right, very well. So now, on episode 11, we were to congratulate the new officers, the elected officials in Kenya. We're going to do that right now. And we simply want to say congratulations to our new president, Dr. William Ruto, who is now the head in charge. Congratulations to all of his staff that he's currently putting in place, and to all of the elected officials over, by, around, and through the country. Okay. And I guess in a while we'll get to hear part of his manifesto for taking on the helm over the next 5 years. Okay. So right now we're going to switch up a little bit and go to one of our guests. Her name is Beverly, Miss Beverle Lax, and she's coming to us today and talk to us about getting out the vote. Beverly.
Hello, hello. Thank you.
Hello,
Thank you so
darling.
much. Yes. Did you want me to say a bit about myself or just
Please
move
do.
right on in? Well,
No,
I
tell
think
us a
what
little
I'll
bit
do.
about yourself and what you do in Kenya.
Okay, well, I'll tell you about myself in relation to Democrats abroad. I've been in Kenya for about 38 years. My background is in teaching, writing, linguistics, and Swahili, as a matter of fact. I am a voter in San Mateo County in California, and I joined Democrats Abroad because I just think it's such a well, of course, I mean it's an understatement to say it's a useful organization, but it's just such an
Mhm.
important organization because I think a lot of people don't realize that even though they live abroad, they can still participate in U.S. politics, even if they no longer live there. You know, if they don't intend on going back, they can still participate in the politics of the U.S. So what? We have several country committees, and our country committee is, of course, Democrats Abroad Kenya. And I serve as the counsel on the committee, which basically, okay, first of all, I'm not a lawyer, okay, but I basically advise and get information, okay, advise on procedures just to make sure we're doing things right. And when I don't know, I call on the International Council and find out. And yeah, so we basically do things according to the bylaws that have been set out by Democrats Abroad. I've also served on Democrats Abroad Resolutions Committee, whereby basically people make suggestions that might shape democratic policy, that might affect Americans living abroad and U.S. policy, and also that might affect the policies of the Democratic Party committee abroad. And also, I served on the charter committee and basically making revisions or suggestions on changing the charter or amending the charter and and the bylaws of Democrats abroad in general. And my latest, what I'm doing currently, is I serve as the library team leader on Democrats Abroad Global Black Caucus. And the purpose of this task is to gather the resources that have been put out by the Global Black Caucus in terms of the writings, in terms of events that they've had, but also to collect resources, other writings from other people, social media posts, but also videos on YouTube or whatever might be out there that can help to uh, educate Democrats Abroad members so that it reminds them how important voting is and that voting matters so much. Because, of course, with a lot of the resources from the Black experience, from the history of African Americans in the U.S., culture of African Americans in the U.S. is very vital to know about, to um, really feel how African Americans have been unfairly treated throughout history. And history today needs to be different, and people need to vote according to that. Okay, so Democrats Abroad, right now, and basically the main um, activity is what we call GOTV, getting out the vote.
Get
And
out the vote.
yes. And that is what we are encouraging all Americans to do. So basically, Democrats Abroad has two objectives. One is getting information and voter assistance to all Americans to register to vote, to request their ballots to vote, because
Hmm.
some people don't realize that they also must request their ballot, and to give information and to guide American voters on how to return their ballots to the respective states on time. Now, I can't really say, oh, what is necessary when, and by mail or email or fax for on how to return the ballots, but that is the information that people need to refer to because it's different for each state. So that is one objective of Democrats Abroad, which is nonpartisan, just letting all Americans know how it is they can register, request their ballot, and get their ballots in. Um, since we are called Democrats Abroad, Kenya, the other objective is to get as many Democrats registered to vote
Hmm.
and complete that voting process, because we want to turn out as many Democratic votes as possible. And we want Democrats to, be as many in the House of Representatives and the Senate as possible, because as we can see, how voting goes on policies and laws, we need a democratic perspective there.
Yes.
So, um, all, oh, yeah, so let me just say that, yes, so yes, Democrats Abroad, right? For those who are Democrats, you can visit Democrats Abroad. You can register as a member of Democrats Abroad, and then you can have access to all kinds of events that happen. Um, mainly over Zoom, still over Zoom. There are some country committees that are hosting live events or in-person events as well, but you can have access to all the activities that are going on. Um, First, before I get to some of the activities, I wanted to just go over what Democrats Abroad Kenya has done to get out the vote. And
All
that
right.
mainly concerns two activities, tabling and phone banking. Now, we've had tabling events at Village Market every Saturday of September, and including this Saturday, I believe is the 24th, we'll have
Yeah.
a tape event where information is available um, with the website to go to register and um, request your ballot. Also, you can on that website uh, vote from abroad, votefromabroad.org. You can also follow up your ballot with your, well, all kinds of information is there. You can get the location and contact of your election board of where you live, the state you live in, the county you live in, and you're given information on how you can actually follow up to make sure your request for your ballot has been received. And if you haven't gotten your ballot, you can follow up to ask about where your ballot is. But by law, I think by law, once you request your ballot, you are supposed to get your ballot, I believe, within 45 days of voting. And oh, let me also say, voting for the midterm elections, that's what we're on about. And that
That's what
voting,
we're on about. Hmm.
that's what it's about, will be November
Yeah.
8th, November 8th for the midterm elections. And we're also asking Democrats to vote down ballot, which means don't just vote for the high offices, the federal offices. You also need to vote for the state offices as well as the local offices, even if it's dog catcher, vote Democrat.
Ah.
It matters. It matters. Okay. And then we also had a very successful tabling event at the Shamba Cafe and Shop in Nairobi. That was on the 16th of September, and it coincided with their Friday evening event called New York to Nairobi Jazz Events. So
Oh
we
yeah.
met quite a few Americans and even people who are not Americans, they have American friends. So you can also urge people who know Americans to ask their friends, have you registered to vote? Hmm? Have you gotten your ballot? Do you know how you're going to get your ballot in? Because every vote counts, of course. And then there's phone banking, whereby Democrats Abroad Kenya volunteers call people who have registered with Democrats Abroad to remind them of the same information, and to get any feedback that they might have, any problems that they might be having, and to guide them in the right direction. Um, and I'll say here that also any if you have questions, if there's more information that you would like, you can go to info-kenya at democratsabroad.org. Info-kenya at democratsabroad.org. And not only can you ask questions to get more information about voting, you can also let us know if you would like to volunteer with
Oh
Democrats
yeah.
of Kenya.
Oh yeah.
Volunteering it's actually a very fun event. It gets you all excited about voting. It gets other people excited about voting because we really need people not only to be excited about voting, but to be very concerned about voting. Um, and so, for example, there is also another event that is hosted by votefromabroad.org. It's called Zoom the Vote, and it's another voters assistance platform. You can join Zoom and you get live voter help um, for Americans living abroad, and you can get a lot of your questions answered there and guidance given as well. I love how there are all these platforms in place to sort of walk people through the process who might feel a little apprehensive about it because a lot of it is online, which may be new to some people or not very familiar. But there's a lot of guidance that is given to make voters abroad feel comfortable about voting. And this Zoom the Vote. Um, can you type this in, perhaps? It's or do we have the flyer? Um, you can go to HTTPS, or maybe let me just say QRCO dot de qrco.de / BB as in baby, BBH0ZG. Okay. QRCO dot D as in democracy, E / BB as in baby, H0Z or ZG. Okay. And
What's the first
okay, I know.
website you gave us? A .com or .org? When I tried to put in the zoomthevote.com, it wasn't the
Yes,
right site. It said site not.
You have to go
I
www dot.
tried. I
Yes.
tried. I tried the site
Okay.
myself. I
So
tried
tell
it
us
and I
again.
got it.
Is it
Okay.
.com?
QR.
Okay. Hang on.
Uh. Okay.
Go ahead.
Do we? Can we put up that
QR.
poster, Josh? Because what I have here is
Go ahead and
just
give me what you got.
the HTTPS colon /, but the
Right.
important part is
Yeah.
QRCO dot D as in democracy, E
Uh-huh.
/ BB baby
Mm-hmm.
H0
Mm-hmm.
ZG.
Okay, got it. Okay. And here you are.
Yes. And they are on Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Sundays. Tuesday and Wednesday, noon to 4 p.m. And that is Eastern time. There we go. Eastern Daylight Time. And on Sundays, so well, even today's Wednesday, right? Noon to 4 p.m. Eastern time, and Sundays 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time as well. And also, for example, if you are a Democrat, it's very, very wonderful if you join Democrats Abroad, and then you get to get information such as this Sunday on the 25th, the Democrats Abroad Black Caucus is hosting a talk by Michael Blake, who was the DNC vice chair from 2017 to 2021, to just last year. And he is going to talk on who we are and how we vote. Connect the dots. Who we are and how we vote. Connect the dots. So, those of you who are Democrats or who may have friends who are Democrats, who live abroad and maybe not even in Kenya. They can join Democrats Abroad and get all kinds of information that can keep them informed about the issues and also about voting. And I believe I'm done.
Okay, yes, you are. And thank you so very, very much. And I
Yes.
want to say I'm seeing here a date that's called this year, you should receive your absentee ballot on or by September 24. That's in a few days.
Yeah.
Okay. You
Yes.
should be getting it in a few days. So keep your ears and eyes open out for that, because if not, then you should be contacting your state to see just in fact where your ballot might be. Okay. Thank you so very much, Beverly, for sharing with us about Democrats abroad. And
Thank
yeah, we
you.
want to get those votes going. We want to get those votes out. All right. What we want to do now is we were looking for our guest to come into the studio to talk about Deaf Awareness Week. But let's put that on later. Okay. Let's come back to that later in case they come into the studio later. I'm getting a message that they're in traffic.
Okay.
So hopefully they can come on the show a little later. But right now we're going to go to our very, very, very next guest. Now, I want to say this to Beverly, that I have not personally spoken to you about what we're getting ready to do now. But sweetie pie, I know this is something you want to do. And I know you also want to do it with me. Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right. I'm going to bring out our next guest. Her name is Mary, Coach Mary. She is a somatic therapist and empowerment coach. She has spent the last 25 years or so developing programs to help you and to help me and to help all people to know how to step into their power. And she's done this in such, you see what I'm saying, Bev? I know you want to be a
I
part of
got
this.
I
Number
got
two, she helps us to step into our power in a very profound way. Okay. And she's looking to create participants to step into their power as peacemakers and creators of a healthy, joyful world. She's
Wow.
created a lot of programs to support us. She's got one that's even called 24/7. But right now,
Oh,
we're into a program that's called BLISSIPLINE. BLISSIPLINE. What the hell is BLISSIPLINE? Well, here she is, none other than Mary herself, to tell us what BLISSIPLINE is and to take us through how we get into that introductory program. Thank you, Mary, for being here.
I'm so pleased. I'm so delighted. We've been interacting in some fun ways over this BLISSIPLINE program that I've been doing. And it's just always such a joy to start working with people and just implementing the practices and seeing how it goes for people. So.
So let's tell people what BLISSIPLINE. Oh, maybe you want to tell them a little bit more about yourself, or tell them how you got to BLISSIPLINE. Do you
Yeah,
want to
I'll
talk
do a
about?
really quickie background.
Okay. Okay.
So I was working as a therapist, and when you're working as a therapist, people come to you with, depression and despair and sadness and pain and anxiety and all these things. And it's actually, incredibly heart-filling work to help them. But some time ago, I hit this moment where I suddenly realized that all my training and all my focus and all my talking with other counselors, et cetera, was about this, bringing people to what I suddenly realized was neutral. Like we would teach them how to, release depression or how to release anxiety. And there was this assumption that if you just get rid of that stuff, you end up in some neutral space, the sort of like, and then from there, you know how to live your life. And I realized that was a completely false assumption. I think partly I realized that because I had decades of depression, and I got incredible treatment and help from people. And when I found myself in that space where despair was gone, depression was gone, I didn't really know what to do. So I started looking at what I now call the upper half of the scale, where we move into curiosity and interest and excitement and ultimately passion and bliss. And so I started looking at the whole scale and really understanding that our goal is to live in this enlivened way. And so over time, I developed a process called BLISSIPLINE, because what I came to understand is that we have within us an innate impulse toward well-being, an innate impulse toward creativity, toward healing, toward joy. And you only have to look at little kids in okay situations. They don't even have to be in good situations. You just let a kid be in an okay situation and they are filled with joy and creativity. And this is our true nature. But there are so many obstacles in the way of it in terms of trauma wounding, in terms of things like that. So I wanted to, while we work on releasing trauma, while we work on recognizing patterns and yes, learning to establish clear boundaries and all the things that you got to do, also let's work on joy, let's work on creativity, let's work on aliveness. And then there's this beautiful sort of pull in that direction. I think it was Rumi said, or Hafiz, let yourself be pulled by the strange uniqueness of what you love. It will not lead you astray. So I said that a little wrong, but so that's what BLISSIPLINE is. It's based in neuroscience. I'm a real geek. I'm really into neurobiology and stuff like that. My training is in somatic healing, which is about how the nervous system processes trauma. So I'm a total geek, but I've turned it into things that are easily accessible and joyful and playful and creative and really reflect our individual preferences.
Okay, very good. What I'm going to seek to do, Mary, is to have us on the screen together now as we talk about BLISSIPLINE a bit more.
Yeah.
I will say to you that right now, there is a free program online that you can tap into and get a chance to experience some of what BLISSIPLINE is about. Okay, there's a link that we're going to put in the chat in just a moment. And when you go to the link inside of Facebook, you get a chance to interact with other people who's taking a look at the course as well. Some of those people in that course are also people who've taken classes from her before. Like many of you, like me, when you take classes you like, you take more, and you can take more, and you can take more. So we've taken a lot of training together. Now, but a lot of the people in the class now have taken other classes from her. So it's, I have gone into the introductory session myself, right? And it asked me some very simple questions. I don't want to give it all away, Mary, but I want to tell them two things that you asked us to do that really
give away everything.
No, they got to go to the site.
Okay.
One of the things that
there's a lot on there.
Yeah, there's a lot. One of the things that she was asking us to do was just to take time and go into ourselves. And she gave us 5 things. You could pick any 2 of the 5. What I chose to do, one was go and have a look at the stars. Take 5 minutes and just look at the stars. Now, we see the stars all the time, and I will say to you that I am very amazed by the stars here because it appears for me in Africa that we see them a lot better, a lot clearer in Africa than we may even in the United States. Okay? So I'm a stargazer. I even go to the Mara, right, and be in the mud huts where when you look up, you're just looking up at the sky in some of the huts, just to look at the stars. So I did the stargazing, and it just felt very good. The second thing that I chose to do was she said you can walk aimlessly. Walk aimlessly. Walk without a goal in mind. Just go walk. Yes. And so me, when I go walking, I always got a goal in mind, right? No, just so when I went out of the house to go walking aimlessly, hell, I didn't know if I wanted to go to the left or if I wanted to go to the right or if I wanted to go straight ahead. Yeah. But just being in the space of aimlessly walking, I'm walking and I'm laughing at myself because I'm aimlessly walking. I didn't have anything in mind. I must have done it for maybe 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But the whole time it was a giggle for me because it's like every time I go somewhere, I'm going somewhere.
Right.
But inside of Discipline, you just go and you be with yourself. So, Mary, I'm going to do that again. And I hope I don't giggle so much the next time. Okay. But it felt so good. And I may go back and try the other
Did you
point.
say
That's
giggle?
all I'm going to give away.
Yeah.
That's
Just laughing carelessly.
right. You know, that's what happens if we, you know, I'm a very purpose driven person. I always have been. I'm always busy. I have to remind myself every day, stop, just stop, just stop. Hold, take a breath, take a
Right.
breath. You know, I'm very, and so, but when we do, it's like we go, oh, the world, you know, it's really something. So, and that's great. I'm so glad it made you laugh.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll
just-
tell
So
you one of
if you
the.
sign up, you'll get to do more.
Yeah.
But we had, let's see, is this the right? No, this isn't the right link
No,
for.
that's an okay link. What that does is
Okay.
it's really long. I'm sorry, but
okay.
it takes you to a special page that I set up for people. They can just come in and do a week free trial. Now,
Right.
and then after that, I also do scholarships programs. One of the things that's very, very important to me is that I make sure things are accessible. And I'm very aware that, for example, the dollar is very strong in some countries, which means their currency doesn't fare well against it. And so there's no way I'm going to ask them to pay in their dollars, the amount,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So I have a whole scholarship program. It's very easy. There's a link. It's super, super simple to find your way through. But this link will take you to a week free trial. And then in there are videos that'll guide you through to dry stuff. And I want to just tell you one of the BLISSIPLINE principles that that the Queen Mother's meant sort of pointing to here, which is this. I like to say one of our groups came up with this one day. You got to rock it till you grok it. You got to rock it till you grok it. And what that means is if you hear about it or you read about it or you believe someone, even if they're really compelling and you're like, oh, that person's so great, but you don't do it, it's not yours. It's not yours till you do it. It's just not. It's in your head. And it's so obvious if we think about it. You know, if I say, okay, if you want to get to the grocery store from my house, you go out the door and you turn right and you go to the other drive, and then blah, blah, blah. You're like, oh, okay. And you might even be able to follow those directions if they're simple and you do it right away. But if you just do it, and it's a fairly simple thing, you know it's yours. And if it's complicated, you have to do it a few times, then it's yours. And so that's what I say. You got to rock it. You got to do it until you grok it, until you know it in your body, in your nervous system, in your soul, in your being. So you got to rock it till you grok it. So the whole point of this Blissaganza thing, this little link, is to really help people step into the experiencing of it, just like what the Queen Mother just told us about how she went and looked at the stars, and then she did the aimless walking. And the notion of aimless walking is one thing, but the experience of aimless walking is a whole other ballgame. And that's when she started giggling. That's when you start giggling. That's when you're like, oh, I am alive. I am alive. And that's the start of empowerment right there.
All right. All right. And so what I want you to get, and I really do want you to get this, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to get that. You click on that link and you can go in there and check it out for a week. And then if you like it, she's telling you now that she has scholarships for you to take the training. And listen, bottom line, what she's saying is, don't let money hold you back. It's not about the money. It's about the training. And she calls it BLISSIPLINE. And when you go online to the site, you see all these beautiful, bright yellow flowers. And somehow, Mary, I want to put your picture inside of one of those flowers. Let's see how my designing ability will work. I've been trying to do that. Yeah. So that's what BLISSIPLINE is all about. She's going to be giving us 4 sessions of BLISSIPLINE. So she'll be on today, she'll be on next week, and in the month of October, she'll also be on for 2 sessions. This is just getting you introduced into the BLISSIPLINE work, okay? And so that's what we're going to be up to in terms of talking about. Now, I'm told from the interpreter to talk about Deaf Awareness Week that they say they're trying to get in, but right now I don't see them. Okay. For some reason, I'm not seeing them. Let me try something to see. Okay, let's see what we can try to see if we can get them in. They said they're waiting. And I really do want to, I don't see them. Okay, I just have to let them know that I don't see them. Usually when you come into the studio, I see you there and I click on it and it brings you up on the screen like you see me now. For example, Nana is here, but she's in the back room and I don't see my guest in the back room. So I'm going to just make a phone call. Oh, she says she's waiting. Anne says she's waiting. And oh, okay, I see. The Anne
So,
and Whitty, who wanted to come to us and talk about Deaf Awareness Week. She is waiting for the interpreter to come online.
got it.
Let's go to the next thing that we have to talk about today and see if they can get in before the show is over.
Okay. Sounds good. You know, one of the things I wanted to mention is that it's also National Alzheimer's Day worldwide. And so many people and their families are impacted by memory issues. And it's scary, and you're not sure what's going on. You think someone's forgetting things, but you're not sure. We want to encourage you. Don't shy away from going to the doctor and getting checked. Check all the resources online, because for the person, you know, it's really stressful, and you're scared, and you're asking yourself, what's going to happen to me if people realize that I'm forgetting things? But people already noticed that. So when I had cancer previously, what I know, they notice. You don't think they notice because they don't mention it. They're scared to mention it. They're like, what's going on with her? She already told me that 3 times, but you don't know that. And so, oh, hello, there's our guest coming in. Hi, Ann. So what I want to encourage people to do is to take advantage of resources in your community and go out and get more information on it, because it's important. I have 2 friends that, and Queen Mother is one of them. The other one is Ursula. And I said, if I repeat something to you more than twice, let me know. Because even though I regained my memory, what happened was, when I am deprived of sleep, somehow seniors, we think we only need 3 hours of sleep. And I work, run. I have 8 children, 17 grands, 7 great grands. Somebody always needs stuff. Then it's my personal activities. And I like working, and I will stay up day and night. But after several days of that, I get memory loss issues. And a friend of mine, my research project partner, he told me, he said, you're mistreating your body and it's cut you off. Your memory has cut you off. You're not treating your body right.
Ooh.
Exactly. He said it's going to take 3 days, but it took 5 days for my body to let me back in. I didn't have Alzheimer's. So Ursula said, go find out the causes of memory loss, since you don't have any other physical symptoms or any other issues. And the top of the list was sleep deprivation.
Ooh.
Exactly. And I go, oh, okay. And sleep deprivation also causes heart issues. So once you go get checked, you may find out you don't have dementia, you don't have Alzheimer's, you have not had enough rest for your body. And you have mistreated your body by working all the time, running all the time, not doing what Mary and Queen Mother and Beverle Lax were talking about: resting, enjoying life, be in the moment, and slow down. Catch your breath. The Art of Living Institute has us breathing. I don't even want to take time to breathe. That's like too much time. I need to take quick breaths and get going. You can't do that to your body because it's not going to allow it. So now I see that our guest Ann is here. I'm so excited to see her. Let's welcome her. I'm trying to unmute her mic.
Okay, let me say that Ann is deaf. We're waiting for the interpreter to come.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Let me just send Ann a message. Hello,
Okay.
my sister. Hello, my
Oh,
daughter.
she's off. Queen
Yeah.
Mother, she's out the studio.
Oh, she left. Okay. Well, she was waiting for that interpreter to come on.
Yeah.
Okay. And I have not mastered in the art of interpretation or sign language. So there's nothing I can say. Maybe I'll bring her back next week to talk to us. And let me just tell you a little bit about Ann.
Please.
Ann is deaf, but girlfriend owns a beauty salon. And it is busy all the time.
Yes.
They do nails, they do hair, they do coloring, and she's busy all the time. They do manicures, pedicures, and I've gone to her for manicures and pedicures. Okay. She's a businesswoman, and she said that it's her mother and her husband who supports her to do this work, to have the salon. But it's just a great experience to go and be there and see the women. Listen, whether you can talk or not, or whether you can speak or not, or see or not, you still have needs. So when I go to the salon, it's such a joy to be there to see the women just signing together and doing their thing. And I often ask, what are you guys saying? So that I can be in on the conversation. Okay. Right. Yeah. Okay. Ann sent us another message saying she's sorry the interpreter will not be joining us tonight. So we can always try for her another time. But she's just such a delight. Terry.
Yes.
Nana. Yes. Let's talk about our project.
Okay. Well, we're always up to something, as I was saying.
Always up to something. I say we're always up to something.
Exactly. It's Ahadi reusable pads. We're inviting your support for the Ahadi reusable pads fundraiser. Our goal during the QMS second year anniversary season that we're in now is to distribute 1,500 reusable menstrual pads in 5 of the African villages. For those of you who haven't been to Africa, they don't have sewage or a waste management system like we do here in America. So
some areas do. Some areas do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But most of the places that I've visited, some places do, but some have trenches that the sewage are in. So you can imagine that would not be a good situation to have your open sewage like that. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm muting. There we go. And so let me get back and tell you more about the project. We're asking you to donate only $10 US or 1,000 Kenya shillings. What will that do? It'll supply 4 reusable pads and 2 panties to each girl in these 5 villages. So the pads are breathable cloth, washable and reusable for about 1 year. Best of all, the girls get to stay in school, not miss class, and increase their chances of maximizing their potential, fulfilling their destinies for only $10. Join us today. And I'm going to put up on the screen the M-Pesa pay bill number and then PayPal for the rest of us that are around the world that want to donate. And we're going to be posting it on the Facebook page. So here is the M-Pesa. M-Pesa is like our Western Union or our Cash App. And let's see. There we go. There's M-Pesa and Queen Mother's PayPal. So they don't have a Western Union system. And so we want to make sure that you're able to.
We do have Western Union. I chose not to use Western Union because they have not been kind and professional to me. Okay. And there's a lot of chatter in the world today about Western Union. Bottom line, and somebody send you money, they think it's drug money. So they won't allow you to receive it. Here I am going to the States for a funeral. And Western Union, the people sent the money. Western Union would not allow me to receive it. They were sending me money to help me buy a ticket to come for the funeral. But Western Union wouldn't allow me to receive it because they thought it was too much money. Okay. So back to the Ahadi Pass. There's 4 of them on the inside. Please support us. Please imagine just $10, and the girls can use the pads for about a year. They can use these reusable pads for about a year, and they're also getting 2 pair of underwear with it. Please support our project. And if you know of organizations who would like to be a part of us, we're going to take photos. We're going to take videos. Okay. when we are doing the distribution, I'm hoping that we can do some distribution in the month of October. But in order for us to do that, we need to raise some more money.
Yeah.
So that we can go up there and give away, because it's so many we're going to give to each village. So please, please. I mean,
please,
whatever you choose, but it's $10 for one packet. And if you choose to be benevolent and allow us to get more than one packet, that would be great. I'd love to go visit the village in October and pass out to about 200 of the girls in that village. So thank you for that, Nana. Again, if you're local here in Nairobi, it's 0796-509-965. And if you're contributing to us from abroad, go to PayPal. My email address in PayPal is dashaking@gmail.com. If you do that and you send the funds, they'll come directly to us. We will acknowledge it and we'll let you know what's going on with our girls. All right, we recognize that we're getting close to the closing hour for today, but there's just a few more things we want to do. We want to tell you.
I only touched upon it, but in many places in Africa, the women have to stay in during their menstrual cycle. And that's what makes people or men think that the women cannot be good rulers, cannot be good administrators, cannot hold important jobs, and they can, like they do the rest of the places around the world. So we have to bring some places into the 22nd or the 21st century. And Kenya is one of them, places in Ghana, the rural villages. So somebody has to reach out because we would want somebody to help us. So we must be the help that they need. So now on to our mentions. We want to thank all of our sponsors. We want to recognize Soul Vegetarian Restaurant. We want to recognize Lucille's Kitchen. We don't want you to forget, tune in tomorrow, Thursday at 7 p.m. Kenya time, 12 noon Eastern Standard Time or New York time. Click on facebook.com, Bunga Data Bunga, BONGA Data Bunga for our show. It has received 725% new viewership each week, and we're excited about the impact that Bunga Data Bunga, and in English that means speak, sister, speak, has had.
Sister, speak.
Yes. Ladies, we were trying to impact the Kenyan election by providing a voice to rural aspirants in the 2022 Kenya election. We were asking the world to pray for them where they don't have the normal violence that they've had every 5 years for the past 30 years. People have not been brought to justice for slashing, beating, raping, and robbing, not just the Kenyan constituents, but also the UN poll watchers. So we'd also like to thank Aisha Defala, Kenya's blood ambassador. We want to remind you, please visit the depository bank near you and donate blood. Kenya and the rest of the world needs it. If you're in the Ukraine,
Kenya needs blood.
Yes. Every place in the world. We've had a lot of different earthquakes this past week. We've had a lot of different fires, so many different disasters around the world, but particularly in our in our war zones around the world, they need blood. So please go donate. And Mia will be heading to northern Rwanda with Action Aid to help build a much needed classroom block for children attending primary school. Access to education, low literacy levels remain huge barriers for those living in poverty in Rwanda and many other African countries. So here I'm going to put up a link that you can go to help and assist them. Yes. So they need your support. And not just this location, but here in America, it is really important, and around the world, because as you know, with COVID, here's the link for Mia and the Rwandan School Project. But around the world and here in America, the children are 2 years behind in the reading level, in their graduation level, in their studies because of the impact of COVID. And hundreds of thousands of children have lost their primary caregivers, their grandparents who were the supporters when their parents at work. They're alone, not studying, not reading on grade level. So decide on whatever project you want. but you be the change that you would have liked to see as a child. It's so important. And let's keep everyone in prayer. So we're in QMS season 8, and our theme is, if not you, who? If not now, when? The time is now. Let's have the 3rd anniversary request. Please share, like, comment, and subscribe to QMS.
Share, like, comments, subscribe.
Yes.
Share, like, comment, subscribe. Nana added a new one, subscribe. Share, like, comment. Share, like, comment. You know, I know that there's a lot of stuff going on in the world today. There's so much online. God, there's so many different ways to come in. I mean, God, all of the different platforms, there's just so much going on. So whenever you take time out to be with us, we thank you, because we realize that there's a lot of things that you could do with your time. All right, we're going to get ready to end the show for today. Any closing words, Mary?
I do want to say I'm just totally inspired by what you're doing, getting these young girls menstrual pads that will help them stay in school. And I'm going to share about that in BLISSIPLINE, and we're going to see if we can't get a little BLISSIPLINE boost to make October really good.
That would be great.
So, yes.
That would be great. And when we do go to the villages, we're going to be videotaping the whole way and let the girls speak, and if we need an interpreter. But most of them speak English, because in Nairobi, in Kenya, the official language is English, even though everybody speaks a native tongue, one way or the other. But everybody speaks Swahili, but there's so many different, I'm learning there's so many different versions of Swahili, and we'll let Dr. Lax tell you about that, because she's the one who teaches, has taught Kiswahili at the universities here in Kenya. All right, we're not going to go through all of the credits for today, but what I do want to do is to take time and thank everyone who was in studio today. Take time and thank you for being here, and know that Mary will be back on next week. Also next week in studio, we are looking to see a young lady by the name of, who should be coming into the studio next week. Maleka. Maleka is an expat.
Yes.
And I met her at one of my expat events. And she's looking forward to being on the show and talking to us about her experience as an expat. I don't think she's in Kenya. I don't know. She's not in Kenya, but she's looking forward to come on and talk about her expat experiences living abroad. So we will have next week, we will have Mary back with the BLISSIPLINE, okay, for you to tap into. Yes, indeed. And we'll have Maleka talking about being an expat. And I'm also looking to see if the Talila report, our roving reporter, will be in with us next week. She's been very busy. She's been traveling abroad, here, there, everywhere, doing all kinds of exciting and wonderful, valuable things. I hope she'll be with us next week. But if not, we'll get her on another week. Thank you again for everybody who was into the studio today. And we want to take now time out to throw you a kiss. The reason why we throw you a kiss, one of the things I miss not being in America is my hugs and my kisses that I get on a regular basis from friends. I'm also a Sunday school teacher, and I get a chance to be with the children, and they hug me and kiss me. And when I'm with the kids, it makes a huge difference for me. But since we've been in COVID, a lot of the Sunday schools have closed down. So I'm not holding my babies. So I'm missing my hugs and my kisses. So what we're going to do now is send some love into the world. I don't know what you're dealing with, but everybody everywhere is dealing with something. Let me take a moment to say hello to Lady Mo. Hello to Tashmia for tuning in. Thank you, Kwashi. And Red. Thank you, Red. The 7 o'clock people out of California. So we're going to take a moment now and give you our, I don't want to call it traditional.
Closing kiss.
Yes, our classic kiss. And the way we do that is we start with our left hand, we blow a kiss, then we come with the right hand and blow a kiss, then we do both hands and send out love into the world. And what I want you to get is, if you really tune into this, you can get this love right here, right now, from Queen Mother Speaks. Let's go, ladies.
Ready.
Up, starting with the left hand.
Mm.
Yeah.
And this goes
Okay.
out to my friend who's far away from me in Kenya. I'm in America and Mary's in America. So to you, Dash, in Kenya, our right
Oh.
hand. Come on,
Mm.
ladies, get our right hand going.
Mm.
We're best buds.
Yes.
And now you're our new best
Yes.
friends too. Both hands.
Thank you, Beverly, for being on the show. And
Thank
we'll
you.
have
Thank
her
you.
back again. Beverly does other things other than teach Kiswahili. We'll talk about that on another show. Let's
Okay.
go.
And you
Yes.
share the love today with someone in your life
Share
or
the love
somebody
with
who's,
somebody in your life, even if you
yes,
go out and get a stranger, because you never
yes.
know. One time I joined a church, and you know why I joined? Because
Mm.
somewhere during the service, they had everybody, the people to walk around and hug.
Mm-hmm.
So you know how Queen Mother feels about her hugs. Thank
Yes.
you very much. This is Queen Mother Speaks every Wednesday, every week, live at 5 p.m.
Yep.
Kenya time, 10 a.m. New York time. Tune in next week. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Mary. Bye,
Bye.
Dash.